Hello and welcome back to The Grey Cricketer, brought to you by ASKTGC, India's tech-first insurance company. My name is Ian Higgins. Sam Perry sits up north from I. We've had a day of cricket today, Pez. 232 for 5 for 232 at the end of the day's play. I don't know if that's good. I think I can see a result in this game because of the wicket, but I don't know anything about the wicket getting any better or worse. I think I see something, and it might be the end of my life.
Oh, well, that took a turn. Let's see if the deck does as well. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, I noted, or it was said on the commentary, that once the fourth wicket was taken, that's the most wickets taken on day one of this series so far, and then they got to 5 wickets, Pakistan, so that's a big effort from them, I thought. We're here at Lahore. We learn a few more things, a bit of trappings watch stuff. You noted Rizwan's green gloves. Gaddafi Stadium is a perfect circle, for example. They haven't played here for 48 years. A couple of the home guys are pretty happy to be at home. Probably should have said that with more accuracy, but you can take the point. Australia going unchanged. Pakistan take an extra bowler. You can do that with Rizwan batting 6, I guess. So, yeah, that sort of led up to the toss, mate. 3 things.
There you go, 3 things. Australia win the toss. They go, we'll have a stick, I would have thought. Thanks, Baba. A good toss to win. Good toss to win, was it? Feels like it might be. Runs on the board. 232 at the end of the day. We'll get into like what this means for our lives, especially me. But it feels like it might be a good toss to win because runs on the board here. If it feels like a chase is going to be hard.
Yeah, and they bowled in the last innings in the last game, like 171 overs. Yeah. So the horses need, a bit more rest in the legs. I thought but I mean, obviously Pakistan started on absolute fire. Warner posted on social last night that a picture of the deck with highway signs superimposed over it and stuff, and insinuating that it needed a shower and stuff. So then he gets one that nips back about 4 meters. So that's social media karma. Really good ball from Nazim there. Sorry, not Nazim, was his name, Shaheen. And Nazim bowled really well for the rest of the day. And then Labuschagne, really imprecise, unnecessary drive off a full-ish length ball, well away from the stumps, dragged into it. You're allowed one of those every 2 years. It was threes. It was 3 stuff. We've all got out that way where you're like, there's the ball. I shouldn't be playing it, and yet my bat is a magnet to that ball. And that's me commenting on the world number 1 bat. He can do that once every 2 years. He doesn't do it very often, but I guess that hurt us. I thought the deck might have been a bit dead early. It's a couple that really died off the pitch, and then like Rizwan stopping it with his pads and shit and blowing up, and I was Jesus. I've been hurt before in love, and it's a separate issue. But actually, there was a bit more up and down as the game went on, as the day went on, and a little bit more to suggest that it's going to play some tricks, which is good to see. And Nazim especially got it fucking reverse tanging, reverse dogging, deluxe, high speed, both ways, which augurs well for Australia. Sajid Khan got 1 to grip to get Khawaja. So, I think the match is pretty well poised for a result. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I feel like I've been hurt before, and this, and in terms of getting a result in a game, this, like, it was never going to be like sort of fast moving cricket. It's going to be a grind. Like it's going to go 5 days. Let me just tell you what's going to happen, mate.
Okay.
No spoilers. But mate, I feel like the spirit that the game has been played in has been. We've seen like Marnus, especially talking to Rizwan and Baba and other guys before the game, just fucking around, having a good time. Pakistan had an absolute day out today. They were just having the most fun ever, mate. Rizwan would just be like, definitely doesn't drink, but top 5 schooners of mineral water. But
doesn't matter what's in the schooner.
Yeah, that's a good point. No one's ever said anything about alcohol. Something in the bathroom there for you, Rizwan. Yeah, like it's just he's having a right, and like he's taken heed of what I said about Pure Gloves in the magazine, the glossy coverage of Pure Gloves, and he switched out the black gloves for the limestone green, and I'm into it deluxe. Goes well with the cap, the yellow star on the front of the cap. Symmetry, it's beautiful. He's on the there's one for the audio there. He's got that going on the handkerchief beforehand. He's looking really good. He's looking really good. I'm happy with it. But they're just fucking round in the cordon there. They're running after balls together. Just having a good time.
Good. It's been a very happy series, and I'm glad to have come to know Mo Rizwan. I hope he allows me to call him Mo, like Rizwan, a lot more. He's a name beforehand. People who follow cricket a lot know that he's good, but we haven't seen him a hell of a lot, on our Australian screens. And obviously, if it doesn't happen in Australia, it doesn't happen, or on our screens, it doesn't happen. And we've been privy and privileged to see the vectors, the lip stuff, all three formats, batting, bit of a character, great gloves, really soft mover, funny, gets his reviews wrong. It's good. It's good stuff from Mo. I take your point about the happy series. Little prediction though. Both teams are being really happy. We love to see the spirit. It's in stark contrast to a lot of the bullshit we've seen before. But as soon as one team gets it wrong, we will be calling. We'll be saying they're not concentrating. Fucking take it seriously. Stop carrying on. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to switching immediately and reappropriating a lot of Marnus Labuschagne's enjoyment, which he's allowed to do as the world number one bat, and reappropriating that once there's another failure or something bad happens to Australia. Just looking forward to that.
I feel like professional athletes are worried about like the machines taking over. We saw this in the Ashes where Stuart Broad said stop moving the robot, and then Steve Smith today just spotted it from fucking deep cow. And he's just like he's seen it. And he's watching the ball at the same time, and he's basically given up on the shot whilst like looking at deep cow, being like, "Stop moving the robot." I think athletes are scared about the machines because they are machines themselves. Basically, get this bloke off the fucking ball machine. It's just a stream of consciousness I've just had just there. Just one thing before moving to the second thing. Being a former wicketkeeper, of some repute, famously, Pez, thank you for jumping in there. Just watching cricket in the subcontinent and blokes standing back to the seamers and spending most of the time just trying to get a good first touch with their shin. Not for me, that stuff. Not for me. I want them up here at the Gabba, 45 metres back. That's what I want. That's the safety as a wicketkeeper that I want. Anyway, second thing, Smith and UZZIE pump up a score for Australia where they get something going. There was a stat going around just before lunch I saw, or was it tea? One of those two breaks in the day's play about these guys' record as a partnership. Their average is up there for like the best ever for Australia. 18 caveats there, 20 innings, blah, blah, blah. But it's a nice pairing. Khawaja 91 again. He's had a wonderful series, as almost every bat has in this series, except for Fawad Alam and Marnus. And then Smith again gets himself to 50 and not converting. So what's going on there, mate? Conspiracy stuff?
Smith and Khawaja like batting together. Well, they're two good sticks, aren't they? I guess there's going to be a partnership there. They recovered for Australia. Another great knock from Khawaja, unflustered, easy, off the pads. It's crisp. It's symmetry. Everything's in its place. As Radiohead said. Great catch from Babar to. Babar the cartoon, to get rid. Good ball from Sajid Khan, who I just want to say they might do us big time now that I'm saying this, but been a bit let down by Pakistan spinners, and I say that as a compliment to Pakistan. I just expect Pakistan to just have whirlers and twirlers deluxe and to fucking trick us and wow us and fucking Houdini us and just all that sort of humiliation shit. And no doubt, like Sajid Khan, Norman Ali, hey, good stuff, guys. Test cricket. Norman got a 6 for, didn't he, at one point? But it's still it's a bit.
Well, mate, he's the leading wicket taker in the series with 7 wickets.
Yeah, right. It's It's a bit workmanlike, and I just say that out of respect
Yeah.
for Pakistan's predecessors. Anyway, I say that also in the context of Sajid Khan bowling an absolute beauty to get rid of Khawaja on 91. And you know what, for Sajid Khan, I think for a bald bloke, good-looking rooster. Needs to. I think if he didn't like twirl that moustache at the end, just that sort of 1890s Breaker Morant kind of pastiche, if he didn't do that, he'd be looking even better. But I like him. I like it though. I like the cut of his jib. But on to... So yeah, Khawaja 91, all right. Smith. Mate, Smith looked like the best batter in the world, like ×2 for his first 25 runs. Like, he looked so fucking good. It was across the crease. He was doing that thing where you're like, you can't bowl to me. You'll literally bowl 2 balls in exactly the same spot. One of them, I'll booze you through cover, and the next one, there'll be whippage through mid-wicket. He's down the ground. He's defending with time. He looked sensational. And it was, I think, because this is an interesting thing with him. Like, I do think teams have worked Smith out somewhat. You know, there's no hundreds in the last 14 innings, though he still averages 44.6, I see, courtesy of Andrew Wu, in that time. So you'll still take it. It's not bad for a guy in a bit of a rut. But I thought it was really interesting. Smith comes in at 2 for 5 or whatever it is. On one of the rare occasions Marnus hasn't scored runs, it is actually up to Smith. It's about Smith. He's the man. And because Pakistan are attacking the stumps, they have to bowl at him. And it took teams about 8 years to realise that you cannot bowl at Steve Smith. They all thought that they could bowl at Steve Smith because the whole machinery had so many parts to it. He had to get out if you targeted off bail. But teams have now realised through Neil Wagner and other teams that you either bump him, which you can't do in these decks, or you don't bowl at him, you bowl away from him. You literally starve him. And once he got to 20, they starved him. So it was no runs for sort of 60, 70 rocks. And back into that same rhythm that we've seen for the last however many tests, basically since the Ashes in 2019. They starved him. They dried him up. He was drier than a dead dingo's donga. And, he makes a mistake.
I knew I'd seen that before. When I was watching him bat, I was like, that's dry as a dead dingo's donga.
Just for you. It's all for you. Anyway. And, he makes a mistake to get out. I mean, Naseem Shah's got it going both ways, but his bat flicks behind his pad. But the reason that happens, I think, firstly, his technique sets him up for issues like that, but you'll take it with Steve Smith. But I think also Naseem Shah is bowling so quickly, it actually rushes him a little bit, and one mistake from Steve Smith causes his downfall. Of course, it's the bat behind the pad. I think he hits it if that doesn't happen, but Naseem probably rushes him. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting with Smith. Like, once he was in a scenario where Pakistan attacked him, he went back to looking like the world #1 bat by a really long way. And then once they basically went, nut, we're bowling on the 7th stump line, what are you going to do about it? He has no answers at the moment. So I don't know what he does there, because every team's doing it to him. He's slowing the game down. It meant that Head had to come in, reverse fucking Tang Deluxe, fading light. It's interesting. I mean, again, 59, good knock. But I wonder what he does to counter the fact that this is the method to him now, to bump him or bowl on 7th stump. You just do not bowl at the stumps with Steve Smith. You just don't do it. He'll kill you. Sorry, one more thing, because he ends up getting out in really weird ways now, doesn't he? Like weird sweep shots, bat hitting his pad.
There's no real pattern to it. Yeah,
because he's trying to find different ways to score. It's just a patience game, and it's like, well, what am I going to do? Am I just going to sit here and just not get out? It's a compliment to him in a way, but it's, I don't know. It's kind of up to him, isn't it, to change? They found a way to blunt him.
Well, you say he looked like the best player in the world. I'm more of a Henry Nichols guy myself, as you know. Third one, Pez. Who won the day? I wrote that about half an hour before they took 2 late wickets.
Right.
So it feels like, in the context of this series, the score being 5 for 232, feels like that's Pakistan's day. But I do think that if Australia gets 270, look, if they get 300, I think that's going to be... I think they're probably ahead. But it's hard.
Really?
Both teams battle on it, etc., etc. It feels to me though like this wicket actually might crumble. Really? Couple of spinners in the team. Australia's probably got the best reverse swing merchant. Not that Nazim Shah or Shaheen Shah Afridi did anything wrong today, but it feels like Stark and Cummins. I just think Australia's got a better team. Australia has a better team 1 to 11 for me, even in Pakistan's conditions in this environment. So I think if Australia get 300, I think that might be a winning score.
Depends on the batch of balls, doesn't it? You know, if Australia can get it to reverse the way Pakistan has, then 300, you'll take 300. As it stands, we don't know. I mean, look at Karachi. You know, the first innings they got it to reverse, second innings they didn't. How does that happen? I don't know. Usually reverse conditions improve, but it's not quite like that here. I mean, Pakistan are only 1 or 2 wickets away from getting right into the tail and knocking us over. So I do think it's Pakistan's day. 5 wickets down, they've made inroads into Australia.
Agreed.
And it could change quickly for them. They could be out there batting soon. And I just have. I mean, look, neither of us know what's like whether this deck is dead or whether it's going to start moving heaps. So you're right, like getting the runs on the board and if they've got the best of the batting conditions, Australia, they're right in the game. But I just have no confidence in these wickets. You know, I just don't know what they're going to do, which is kind of cool. It's like, you know, you said to me a couple of weeks ago when United are about to play Atletico Madrid, you know, you're like, oh, they're a gnarly team, Atletico. And I feel like it's like cricket in Pakistan a little bit. Yeah. You have to play. It's not dirty, but you have to play really dry for a really long time to get a shot. And I'm kind of, it's building up. It's a bit tantric. I'm sort of, you know, I'm bullish about this game being good. Yeah.
Well, as we know, it's drier than a dead dingo's donger. Hashtag AskTGC brought to you by ACO. Pez, on the main podcast that's out today on iTunes, Spotify, and here on YouTube as well, we were talking about mum stuff versus dad stuff. We were talking about performances. And Anj Kapoor wrote in and said, mum stuff is the way to go. Lowest score I've made with when my mum has attended a game is 42. Worst figures, 2 for 37 in 10. All right. So I want to put it to you and the viewers out there. Let us know, did she perform better with your mum watching or your dad watching? Or did anyone ever come? Or an uncle? Was it a friend coming? Was it your girlfriend coming? Was it your boyfriend coming? What was the environment where you best performed? Who was at that game when you came? Who came to the game where you performed the best?
Well, that is a different.
And who was the
question,
game when you came?
one. Yeah.
Let us know
the
both
covers,
ways.
Midnight, we had a bit of a lock-in.
For the lock-in, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Don't tell anyone else in the team. Now, for me, I'm not sure. My mum and my dad both came quite a lot to my cricket. And
yes.
Mum was always, I'll say this, my mum was much better at getting us to the games than my dad. Like my dad, you know, back, you had the old Gregory's guide, like the street directory.
Oh, yeah.
And like with my mum, it'd be like, there's the ground and we're going to take the simplest way there. And you just took and it was just simple options in the car at the right time, A to B. Dad would like get 2/3 of the way there, then would know back streets, or he'd sort of sniff his way there. You know, oh, I think it's sort of vaguely in this direction. Oh yeah, I remember like, there'd be fuck ups everywhere.
Sniff his way there.
Yeah, you would. You know the feeling with that, like it's a real man thing. It's just sort of this way. Yeah, it's sort of sense of direction. Yeah. And that has stressed me out, and you know, I mean, that's just the personality differences. Very sort of like my dad is like absent-minded professor. You know, like you'll get 5 wrong, but the one he gets right is like a Hail Mary, and you don't hear the rest. You know, don't hear the end of it. So you remember that time I got you to Pottery Green, son? You know, your son. I'm tired. Yourself?
I just find it funny, like, but when we first started playing grade, like there was no fucking Siri, like there was no TomTom even before then. It was like like you can't use your phone when you drive now, and that's a very good rule to have. But fuck me, I was like Magellan. I had a compass out. It's like I've got Gregory's on my lap,
looking at the sun.
Yeah, exactly. E7, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, we'll go that way. Make one wrong turn, you're 45 minutes late, your captain's blowing up, fines.
There goes a globe in your car. Look at the fucking longitude and latitude, you know. That was day one.
Oh yeah, I used to play with a guy who said, I only need to go to ground once and I know how to get there for the rest of my life. Never got us there. Never got us there. He was a good stick though. All right, thanks for joining us. That's what's happened on day one of this test match, the final test match, the grand final, if you will. And I know that you will. See you guys tomorrow.